Very interesting news coming out of the Latin American left. U.S. Venezuelan journalist Ava Gollinger, who's responsible for such works as the Chavez Code, who is a journalist who's been covering a great deal of what's been going on in Venezuela since Hugo Chavez came to power, is alleging that Hugo Chavez was likely murdered and that his death from cancer was not natural. Everything that Washington was trying to achieve during the administration of Hugo Chavez today is being realized in his absence. The cancerous illness from which Chavez suffered was unusually aggressive and suspicious, and every day turns up more evidence that it's possible that Chavez was murdered. Now, it is very true that Hugo Chavez did die of cancer and that he had a very, very persistent tumor. In fact, his Cuban surgeons found and removed a malignant tumor that had metastasized. Now, here's some information that she has presented that makes this a bit more suspicious. It is enough to know that one man who had for several years been one of his closest aides, who was often alone with him and brought him food, coffee, and water, is now a protected witness in the United States. Soon, Liam C. Salazar's covert actions and close collaboration with the intelligence agency in Washington will be revealed. This man was Hugo Chavez's personal bodyguard and had been with him a great deal of time, had been very, very close to him, probably closer than anyone else. And in fact, he was actually very rarely ever mentioned in the media. And Chavez himself said that the man was reliable, incorruptible, professionally trained Bolivarian military officer. And in fact, one of the few times he's been seen publicly was with Hugo Chavez when he returned to the palace after the failed coup by the United States in 2002. Oddly enough, little is known about Salazar, and mostly from tight-lipped American sources. He was born in 1974 to a large family living there in Pater, a slum district in the Venezuelan capital. After high school, he entered the Naval Academy, graduating in 1998. He was a middling student, finishing 27th out of his class of 55. Nonetheless, in 1999, Salazar was tapped to be a presidential honor guard. Tito Rincon Bravo, Venezuela's Minister of Defense and Father Limzi's first wife, played an important role in this appointment. Salazar became a personal assistant to Chavez. That job came with a very intense workload due to the frantic pace of the president's life. Now, here's where it gets even stranger. Now, he married another military intelligence official. This would be his second wife. I believe it's his second wife. Annabelle Linares Leal, and what he did was he asked for permission to take time off work to go to the Dominican Republic for a honeymoon. Now, he was granted that, he left, but according to sources, he got on a plane from there and went to Spain. And then from Spain, he went on a special plane belonging to the Drug Enforcement Agency, which flew Salazar and his family from Spain to the United States. Now, this is how Emil J. Blasco, a Washington correspondent for the Spanish newspaper ABC, he's often served as a mouthpiece for U.S. propaganda and for the U.S. intelligence service. This is how he describes Salazar's escape. So this is not something that some Venezuelan or pro-Chavez person is saying. This is someone who's very much known to be a part of the U.S. propaganda apparatus saying. So this very likely is not untrue. Now, the couple is currently living in the United States with their children under U.S. federal protection. Now, what they've done is they've given testimony on a wide range of issues, but primarily due to the suspected involvement of the Venezuelan government with drug trafficking, and basically testifying against several members of the Bolivarian regime in drug trafficking. So essentially they're pointing fingers at pro-leftist members in the government, accusing them without really any evidence, just his word, that they're involved in drug trafficking. And this also includes various military leaders as well. Now, there's no real solid evidence being given that Hugo Chavez was murdered by, this cancer. However, a lot of things do seem very, very suspicious here. So, in a way, I actually wouldn't be surprised if it was true. But currently, in my personal opinion, I don't think he was assassinated by the United States by using cancer. I think this is more a case of this guy was really, really close to Hugo Chavez. And then when Hugo Chavez went down, when he passed away, maybe something changed in him. Maybe he maybe this was something traumatic for him, and he decided to essentially turn against the government there. Maybe he decided that the Bolivarian Revolution was done and decided to be a snake and go sell out to the other side. But I mean, who really knows? I mean, the situation is very, very suspicious. But there's no real solid evidence that Hugo Chavez was actually murdered with cancer. I do, however, recommend going further into Eva Gollinger's work, including her a very good book, The Chavez Code, which goes into the 2002 coup against him by the United States, and investigating more of this situation for yourself. Thank you for watching. Why don't you go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media. And if you want, you can head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you could head over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.